You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Ready for Love After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Ready for Love After Show.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. We're ready.
I'm ready.
Hey everyone, Bing is for doing, and we're doing our second after show for Ready for Love, Season 1, Episode 2, Meet Ben and Ernesto. I'm your host, Samantha Laich, and I'm joined by 3 lovely co-hosts tonight. To my left.
Hey everyone, it's Giselle Ugarte, and if you are a fan of AfterBuzz, you know that I'm always live tweeting the show, so make sure that you tweet me, join the conversation at Giselle Ugarte.
Boom.
And I am Jessica Carroll, and you can tweet me at Sika Carroll, SICACARROLL. Oh, and follow me on Instagram.
I'm Tara Johnson, and I'm just not savvy enough to tweet while we do the live show. So you have to talk to me after.
It's all good. I'm manning it over here.
I'm not savvy enough. Sorry.
All right, before we get into this week, I think we need to recap, because last week was all about Tim. Mm-hmm. And we kind of left the show curious as to what the relationship between Tim and Leah was, because she kind of made it sound as if they had a physical relationship. We didn't really know.
A little chemistry.
But we did find out that the reason why it was so uncomfortable for Tim was because Leah was actually an ex of one of his best friends. So that's where it came from.
Awkward.
Yeah. I feel like that always happens. Like, for whatever reason, there's always a crush on the best friend.
Yeah.
Not always, but, you know, either the guy's best friend, you know, wants what he has, or the girl likes the guy because it's the next best thing, or, like, they're comfortable.
Mm-hmm. But there's the rule.
Ouch.
Like, you don't.
Right.
Yeah, there's that rule there. You don't date your best friend.
Right, that puts Ben or Tim in an awkward position.
Yeah.
Well, even more so if they did sleep together.
Right.
And now she's coming out of nowhere on national television.
Right.
And that might be the first that his best friend, or possibly now ex-best friend, has ever heard of the situation.
Very true.
Exactly.
Very true. Austin is buzzing.
Goodness.
Now it makes sense, though.
Yeah, kind of all, I mean, for the most part, it came together, and we figured it out. But tonight was all about Ernesto and Ben, which we were very excited about.
So excited.
I don't think we have any complaints over here, really.
No.
Except for, was it Ben who had the True Religion embroidered jeans?
Did he?
Or was it Ernesto? One of them had, like, these awful jeans, and I was just like, oh, ruined it.
I did not even pick up on that. I'm gonna.
It was not ruined for me.
No,
Just
not at all.
Let it be known.
Especially for Ben.
I was fine with it. We can get new jeans. I have no problem.
Yeah.
He can afford them.
So Ernesto started us off. He is 33 years old, from Miami. He's a philanthropist. Found out he comes from a large family, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and then himself. Family is everything to him. He's very loyal. He's always there for everyone. So obviously the matchmakers were put to the test. Amber, Tracy, and Matt needed to find someone that fits the bill for him. And Amber, we were introduced to 4 ladies from the start. Elba, who was a law student from Puerto Rico as well. So
Miss Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Miss Puerto Rico, 2004.
Yes, and she started off with a little Spanish.
Yeah, which obviously got his attention right from the start. Shandy, who was Miss USA 2004. She's now a TV host. Erica.
And she might be coming in AfterBuzz. I have been emailing her, and
Come on,
sounds like she's
Shandy.
going to come.
Ooh.
But the contestants can't come in or can't do any press unless they've been eliminated. So that could mean that she gets eliminated, or she never does, in which case she can't come. But I know that she wants to somehow.
Shandy looks like a pro, man. Like, she is in it to win it. You can tell she's done her pageant thing. She is poised whenever things get a little, feisty and the drama gets turned up. I think she's going to go for, the long run.
Or
Love
could
to have
that
her
be why
in.
she's still single?
Is she the twin? One of the
No,
twins?
Mandy. Mandy's a twin.
Yeah, she's always very composed, which I like
Very.
because I think it does show a lot about herself. Not only is that kind of her talent. You know, she's trained in that, but it's kind of just something that she's content with herself. She's okay because you can go over there and talk your drama. I know me. I'm okay. I can.
Well,
sit here
being a
and be
TV
fine.
host, she's not shy in front of the camera, and she's confident on stage. So.
Right, exactly. We also had Erica, who was adopted. She had mentioned that. That was almost one of the first things that she pointed out. She's a sales agent. And Elizabeth, who was a language arts teacher. So Ernesto picked Elba, then he picked Shandy, and then he picked Erica. We almost called it in that exact order as it happened. We're like, Miss Puerto Rico, yes. Miss USA, yes. And then we'll go with Erica.
Sorry, Elizabeth.
Yeah. And then we went to Matt's picks, who were Sonia. She was a human resources specialist, a teacher named Kristen, Summer, who was a real estate agent, and Mandy.
How cute was
Mandy
the little
was the
model
twin.
home?
The twin, yeah.
The little
was
dream
really cute.
house with the popsicle sticks.
Oh,
That was.
Didn't one of our students
Yeah,
make
her
that?
students
Oh,
did.
Yeah, that was really
And
cute.
Matt was just like, yes.
Pull on those heartstrings.
Yeah. I loved it.
Well, and he builds homes, so.
It's true. You gotta get it any way you can. That's what I say.
Did you guys mark it all, like, on your notes? Did you guys mark who was your favorite before we got to see Ernesto's picks by any chance?
I didn't mark favorites. I kind of marked who I thought was going to be booted.
Who did you think was going to be booted for Matt's group?
Actually, I thought it might have been the art teacher. I was not that I was surprised that Summer was kicked out. I hate to make it seem so like. She
Well,
was
they made her,
booted.
they edited it. It's like she
Yeah.
was stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Summer,
Yeah.
summertime. And then, like, that was it.
That was it. That's all she got to say. So yeah, I was like,
Either editing or that was a major fail.
Yeah.
right.
Or both.
But he
Her
kept
nerves might have kicked in too
which
much.
we've seen happen already
Yeah.
multiple times on this show. But Ernesto decided to pick Sonia first, then Kristen, and then Mandy, who was the twin.
I really
He
like
seemed
Mandy.
very excited.
You don't think she's too much? Like, she and her sister together would like explode the television.
Well, he's not going to marry them both.
I know, but they're both their energies are just really, really high, almost to the point where they're squeaking. I mean, I can have that kind of squeaking kind of voice too. So I'm like, I almost want to say, calm down just a little bit.
I thought she was really cute and bubbly, but not to the point to where I'm like, why are you happy all the time? Because you know there are those people who they're just happy and you're like, what are you hiding? You are that crazy psycho chick who's going to be like with the knife in the bedroom at, you know, whatever time in the morning. I liked it. And I think when he mentioned, I think he was actually with Shandy at the time in the pool, he was talking about how, you know, he can get really stressed out and he's traveling and like he wants someone who is happy all the time and who shares the values that he does. So, I mean, from what we've seen so far, she doesn't rub me the wrong way yet.
Right.
Yeah, and it didn't feel forced to me. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't feel like she was putting on an act. I think that's what Matt had even said himself. Like, you're just lovable. Like, I want to like you
Matt likes
because
her.
she just kind of, she's just kind of.
I think
puts
Matt
out
has
that
a thing for
energy,
the
you know?
twins.
Yeah.
But also, I think she's just really enthusiastic about life. She even said, like, I love life. She's just a happy person, and I did not feel like it was forced.
And she's a pageant director, right? So she has that kind of pageant thing too going on.
Yeah.
So I'll give her that because I think Ernesto is a pretty serious type of guy. So he does need someone to,
You know,
bring
opposites
him
attract.
up. It's true. But I was like, bring it down just a little bit. That's just me.
And then we went to Tracy's pick, who she picked Olivia, who was from Iraq, I believe, correct? And then Victoria was a business student, Katie was a sales exec, and then Lisa Marie was a theme park performer who brought a frog.
A real frog.
And it was on roller skates. Yeah. That's all we can say.
Well, yeah, we'll just.
I didn't even write anything about Lisa Marie, but the only thing I wrote next to Katie was woof.
Oh, she was the crying one. Maybe.
I wrote a frog next to Lisa Marie because that obviously that almost took like Haley's part from last week.
Oh,
with
yes.
Tim, and she told the story
fart.
about the fart.
Yeah.
You can't forget that. I was like, you brought a frog.
Yeah, she brought a
Life
frog.
is not a fairy tale.
I just would not want to touch her
Realistically.
hands. Like,
Yeah.
oh, no. Like, when she went to go, like, hug him by, I was like, don't touch the hands.
So funny.
Not the best move. Not the best move.
And Victoria said that she was extremely competitive and that she wanted to be number one.
Which I have to say, at the start when she said that, I actually did not find that as a con whatsoever. Because I thought about myself, I was like, I'm competitive, you know. But then when she crossed that line. Right. She was like, I'm out for blood.
Yeah.
And we're like, whoa, this is not the competition between you guys, because everyone's been so great thus far, just kind of really enjoying the experience, and they're almost happy for each other. You know, I'm happy that you're experiencing this the way that I am. But she was like, she was not having it, and she could not control her facials.
Yeah,
No,
she couldn't.
fix her face.
At first, I kind of was rubbed the wrong way a little bit. I thought she sounded a little scripted, or it was just the way that she moved her mouth, which is something physical, so I can't dock her for that at all, and I'm not going to. But I thought, if anything, it would have been the opposite, that when she's not put under pressure like that, when she doesn't have a script to think about, that maybe she would soften.
Yeah, there was no softening.
Boy, was I wrong.
I was surprised he picked her because her whole competitive speech
I'm a challenge.
was a turnoff.
I'm
to me.
unapproachable.
Yeah, it was really a big turnoff to me from the jump. So I was really surprised that he chose her. That was the person who I mean, at least Marie made it kind of easy with the frog and the roller skates. But besides those two things, I was surprised he chose her.
I think that the only thing that she had going for her is that she mentioned that she was a challenge. And let's be honest, what guy does not like a challenge at the end of the day?
Exactly.
So if she hooked him like that, we just found out a little bit later that she had a little less to offer than we really thought, because she just kind of sat on the sidelines.
Yeah.
But before we get into the group date, we got a little bit of advice from the 3 matchmakers, and Matt had said that guys gravitate to women that make them feel like men. So try to put them in that position, which I think is great advice if you think about it, especially the example that he gave about trying for a man to try to offer his coat to a woman. I always reject the coat.
Oh, I always take the coat.
I'm always cold, so I'm like, yeah, heck yeah, let's take it.
Well, I totally agree with what he's saying. I like, for everything, that for me gets me. I will melt. I need a guy who's a gentleman, you know, whether it's opening the car door, ordering for me. I think that's something that's wrong on these shows, and that's wrong in today's society, is that chivalry is dying is because women are denying it, or they don't feel like they're worthy of it, or they think it's awkward because they're so used to getting treated like poop.
That's true.
And I think the reason why it's really hard in this show is, okay, you're telling these girls to be pursued, to let the guy feel like the guy, but yet they're chasing after these guys, and they're having to compete for the guy. And if any, it's like promoting shiny toy syndrome, where the guy's getting to compare every girl next to other girl. Yeah. And it's easier said than done. I mean, how do you guys think, like, if you were in the situation, how do you think you'd be able to strategize being able to still be the woman who's being pursued without, and like still be vulnerable without looking desperate and clingy?
Well, I think that's the beauty of having the matchmakers there, because they can tap you on your shoulders and say, okay, I need you to
put your dress back on.
Yeah. I need you to be a little more forceful here.
I forgot to mention that.
That was for Ben. That's for Ben.
We missed that.
It's for Ben. It's for Ben.
That's for Ben.
We haven't gotten there yet.
So
I was going to say.
I know, they're there to be like, I need you to be a little more forceful this time. I need you to fall back this time. Because you're right. I think that's a really delicate balance. I don't think I could pull it off, to be honest with you, because I never take the jacket.
I never share.
I think if I take his jacket, well, he's going to be cold. That's so selfish, Tara. And now it's like, no, the man wants to give you the jacket, take the jacket.
If you turn down the jacket, it's awkward.
Yes.
Oh.
Coming from a guy, if you turn down the jacket, it's awkward.
Don't worry, I'm taking all jackets.
Take the jacket.
I'm taking all jackets.
Just bring your own jacket.
Oh no, I want his jacket.
Yeah.
I do completely agree with you though, Tara. I'm the same way. I think like, well, if I take your jacket and I'm really not cold, but you offered it anyways, and I'm perfectly fine, then we're going to be cold. And I don't want you to be cold, so I don't want the jacket. But then
lesson learned.
Apparently it's not read that way.
We're taking all jackets from now on.
I always take the jacket.
Take it.
But the awkward part is like when he goes to like push in your chair, like you sit down, you don't know like how to sit down and like when to scoot in or like when to scoot out, or can I stand up, or does he have to like open my chair for me? That's just the really awkward part. Or the door too.
It is the door.
Door's not as bad, but the chair, it like freaks me out.
I did have a moment like that a couple of weeks ago where I got back from the bathroom and I didn't realize that he was standing up to take my chair, and I thought he was like standing up for some other reason, so I'm looking at him like,
back massage?
What?
What do you need? See, I think doors like on the way in, or if you're getting into the car, that's fine, but then getting out of the car, you just sit there and let him walk all the way around to get
Getting out, it's a little different.
Yeah.
I feel.
But in high school, I was really bad about that. I remember that I don't know where my head was, clearly way in the clouds, but Even in Minnesota, if it was blizzarding, like snowing, I would not get in the car until he opened the door. If he got in the car, I'd just sit and wait.
And he'd drive off and be like, oh, she's not in the car.
No, he would do like the Chinese part, like run around and then.
Oh my God.
I was a brat. I've toned it down.
Well, anyways, thank you, Matt, for that little bit of advice tonight.
I do.
because you
He's so
helped me.
cute.
He is very cute.
Amber, she wanted everyone, again, she went back to the brand. She wants everyone to discover their brand.
voice.
Yeah, and what they want him to know, because that's all he's going to have a chance to see. And Tracy wanted everyone to stay in the moment. Don't get flustered thinking about what the other girls are thinking about you, how he's interpreting what you're doing. Just stay in the moment and have fun. Enjoy yourselves.
I want new advice from the two of them.
I know, it was
Matt,
the same
yeah,
as last week.
Matt changed his tip. Matt always gives good tips. Thank you so much, Matt. You're going to change my love life.
Watch his YouTube channel. I'm serious. I know a lot of you are watching on YouTube tomorrow after we shoot this. Go to his YouTube channel. It's not very long. It's not like he does regular videos every single week, but that's actually how I discovered Matt. Was not through this show, it was through some of the things that he talks about. He's just so cute.
Yeah, Amber and Tracy, same advice week after week. Let's, they're paying you for something. Let's give some more advice.
And everything that he's said is relatable to what happens and to the guys, which I think is valuable, like you said, Tara, and not just pointing out the basic how their matchmaking kind of works.
Right.
We get it, the brand.
Yeah, I got it.
What else can we know?
Yes.
What did you guys
Teach us
think
something
about
else.
what Tracy said to, which one's the, oh, wait, never mind. I'm moving too quickly. I was going to say the Virgin, but that's Ben, so we'll get to that later.
Well, let's go to the group date for Ernesto. All the girls were showing up. They realized that they were going through an extremely sketch neighborhood. They didn't know what to expect, and then they saw like Compton Avenue. They were like, "What is going on?"
And I was like, "Oh, I lived there for 5 years. I miss that place."
This is my hood.
And then we found out
USC.
we found out that they were actually going to fix up a house. Which, how cute is that?
Yeah.
Am I the only one feeling this?
no.
I love
Okay.
this. I mean, I build homes for homeless families every single year, and that is such a big part in my life. And so I know if Ernesto, he's a philanthropist, that's a huge part. And so to have the girls participate meant a lot to him.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that even if that's not something that they're into, you're still attracted to a guy that is trying to put people first like that. And if they're not, they weren't there anyways, because he's not going to pick the type that's like, oh, no, I'm not getting my hands dirty.
Right.
I really
'Cause that's not
liked
him.
it a lot. The only thing I didn't like is that I thought it was a little funny that right before, here's Matt saying, be the lady, let the guy be the guy, and they're like getting on their knees, getting to work, getting dirty, lifting heavy things, doing the hammering and the nailing, and not sexually.
I feel like they still...
Sorry, my mind just like flew to the gutter for a second.
They still kind of turn to him though, like,
Not that
am
should
I
be a
doing
first
this
date.
right?
Yeah.
Or am I measuring this correctly?
Like,
how
you're
how
just
can
too
I do
clean. Let me
this?
paint you.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But I think for a guy like him who's so into giving to other people, he needs to see that at the point where there's 9 women, I have to have a woman who's willing to get a little dirty, but still be a woman at the same time.
Yeah.
So he needs that kind of thing, because you're
a good
right.
point.
If I'm going to break a nail, you're not the lady for Ernesto, I don't think.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
I completely agree. But then we got a little bit of drama, which I think is totally not Ernesto's cup of tea.
No.
By any means. And to be honest, I mean, we'll explain what happened, and then I'll give you my thoughts. So Olivia and Shandy kind of had a little bit of drama because Shandy was she was giving her the measurements, and Shandy was cutting up the floorboards. And I don't know, how do you feel, Jess? Because I think that Olivia completely overreacted and just jumped down
for
Shandy's
sure.
throat.
Well, Shandy was saying, whatever the measurement was, and who was it? Olivia was doing it the wrong measurement, which, okay, they're building a house. It's not like they're building like a little doggy thing. Like they're building
it's not
a house.
opinion-based,
It
it's a
has
measurement.
to be perfect, otherwise it won't fit. So the fact that she just kept saying, oh, no, like she was almost kind of helping her, and Olivia just reacted the wrong way. She took it completely like offensive and competitive, whereas I think Shandy was just coming from, oh, let me help you, like you have to go a little bit farther.
Let's get this done. But their drama went all the way back to the house when Shandy was saying,
you should know exactly what you want.
Yeah, she was like, I think you should know what you want. And I've heard that from a lot of different women. And I don't think Shandy expressed it in a way that had any type of attitude. It was just like, I think it's really hard to get what you want if you don't visualize it. And then Olivia came out of the gate saying, well, honey, you're single and I'm single, so regardless of what we think, we're in the same place. And it started from there.
Yeah.
I kind of liked that, though. I didn't like the tone in which Olivia responded to it, but I thought she made a good point. And I love Shandy personally. I was a pageant girl. Shandy was one of those queens who inspired me to do pageants, and so I've always had a thing for Shandy. But I felt like Shandy was being a little judgmental. Even though she was staying cool as a cucumber, I did feel like she did have her nose up in the air a little bit throughout the episode, from her experiences with Olivia and being just a little cold to even when she was talking to Ernesto and had her arms folded, and we'll talk about that later, and kind of seemed to be like analyzing every single thing that he said, because it sounds like she has this grocery list of things that she wants, and maybe that's why she's single.
Maybe. The only thing about the Shandy-Olivia interaction is, to me,
Olivia's cray.
Well, she's totally cray-cray. And it comes out, whereas Shandy is so composed that Olivia's always going to come out looking cray-cray. Because she's just going to take whatever Olivia has to say and go, oh, okay, well, I wasn't trying to do that. And Olivia's just going to elevate and get more crazy. So she's always going to come out with her looking crazy. So Olivia needs to find a way to pull it in, at least when she's dealing with Shandy. Because if not, she's going to look crazy all the time.
All the time.
And she could be.
And like you said, maybe it is just the way that Shandy's always composed, but I really didn't take any of it as kind of like a stab at Olivia for any reason. I think that she was just saying it very factual, because she's only talking from what she knows. You know, she's speaking on, well, how can you get what you want if you don't know what it is that you want, you know? And for the other girl to, for Olivia to be so insulted so quickly, I don't think it was out of a place of negative comments or anything like that. And then, like you said, we either got a very good edited episode, or they have something going on and it's just not working with them. And I think that it's got to be hard for Shandy, because she and who is the other girl?
Elba?
No. Yes, Elba. The two of them, honestly, are kind of, like the exes that we've seen, or the people from the past. They kind of have
competitive history.
Yeah, the two of them do.
Well, yeah, and I think that they have a target on their back because they're pageant queens. That's so intimidating on so many different levels. So the girls automatically kind of put their guards up, and they're kind of defensive, and they see them as a threat more than anyone else, I think.
And not just little Miss blah, blah, blah. Like, this is Trump's pageant. Miss USA, Miss Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal.
Like Miss, I don't know. AfterBuzz.
Little Miss Cupcake.
LA County. No offense, Miss LA County. That's, hey, rock your title. Yeah, rock your title.
And then the matchmakers, they got to pick the one-on-one date for each of their teams. Tracy, she picked Victoria, who we were obviously very thrown off by. She was just so negative and so jealous the entire time that we were like, good, let's put her up, because he needs to send her home.
Yeah, please put her up.
Miss Competitive.
Or, I mean, that could have very easily given her the opportunity to show a different side of herself.
Completely different side.
Yeah.
But she didn't do that.
No.
We just saw the
more
facial,
competitive. Too much pride.
Yeah. She doesn't need to fix her face. She told everything, and I was this way too. You would see everything on my face before I said a thing, and then someone was like, Tara, fix your face. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. She needs to fix her face, because you saw everything on her face. When the whole thing came about derobing, and she was like, I just think that's inappropriate. It would have been cool to say, I don't think I feel comfortable with that right now. But then she took it further. I mean, boobs and butt. No, I was just like, just make your point.
In his face,
too. Make your point, stand for your point, and move on. Don't judge other people. And from there, her nose just went higher and higher and higher and higher, and it just could never come down.
But literally higher. Like, you could see her chin going up.
I just wanted to say, okay, chin down.
Chin down, shoulders back.
Exactly.
But let's just point out, too, that, wearing what you have to say on your face is not always a bad thing. It's just that everything that her face had to say was negative.
Or constipated, really I don't know.
Yeah, something was going wrong.
Poor girl.
And Matt picked Mandy.
What girls don't do that? Last episode lesson.
Matt picked Mandy, who was one of the twins, which what was his reasoning for that again? Because I was a little surprised.
Because he's in love with her?
He wanted to. see if she went
He
home.
just wanted to get her in the hot tub.
I have to say something about her, not the other twins so much that we saw later in the episode, but something about her from the start reminded me of Heidi Montag. Did you guys see that at all? Or am I losing my mind?
No, didn't really bring that one to my
Okay, well, we'll move ahead then. Amber put Shandy up for elimination because what was her reasoning for that?
You mean up for the date?
I'm sorry, up for
date.
not elimination, up for. I was like, why did she do that? Up for the one-on-one date because she felt
they have
that
a lot in common.
They had a lot of common, and
Faith
that
is very
they really
important to him. Faith's really important to her.
They really got along well together. And to be honest, I don't know what you guys think, Tara. You can tell me, but I like their date, their one-on-one, the best.
I did. I mean, I think, honestly, I think Shandy is an absolute pro. And also the fact that she's a television host, she can talk to anyone. But it wasn't this type of highly over-sexually type of conversation. It really was, I want to get to know you, I want you to get to know me, just kind of a really even kill type of conversation, and it flowed really well. Like, she's going to be a really tough competitor. Sorry, hands down. I'm not saying she's my favorite, but she's in it to win it.
But do you think it's because she knows how to play that's her strategy, or is that really her?
I really liked Mandy's the best personally because I thought it was a good mix between flirtation and chemistry without coming off desperate. I did like how Shandy really played back and forth where she was asking him questions too. And a lot of these girls on the group dates or even their individual dates, it kind of seems like the guys are interviewing them. And I liked the back and forth. I just, again, like I kind of said earlier, is I felt like she was just being really judgmental, trying to listen for her laundry list of things that she wanted, and her body language wasn't saying that I'm open for attraction, that I'm ready for love.
But then we saw kind of like in the confessionals, she was saying the complete opposite. Even though her body language wasn't saying it in the moment, she's like, I'm so into this, I feel like he's the one for me. So we're kind of getting both sides of the story. So is she playing us?
And she brought up the Jesus thing right away, which I know, like, that is the kind of thing that you can bring up on a first date, but I also kind of felt like maybe it wasn't totally authentic. Obviously, like, again, she's one of my favorites in general. Like, I am rooting for Shandy because I just like her as a person and I'm kind of obsessed with her for whatever reason. But just the way that I see the way that she's interacting with him, I can't help but to wonder what else is going on in there. Or maybe this is where she's gone wrong in the past.
Well, I will say, if I was going to offer a tip to Shandy, is if she wanted to listen to me at all. Shandy, I would give this, is that I think being a television host, we can talk to anyone and everyone in every situation. And when we do talk to people, we do kind of have that journalistic talking back and forth, asking questions where your vulnerability doesn't show. So maybe she needs to work on that just a little bit, being a little more authentic and not being, okay, I'm interviewing. I'm more concerned with the conversation as opposed to just kind of being herself.
Yeah.
That's my tip.
It's a really good point.
I mean, there's not much not to like about her.
Yeah.
But
So pretty.
She's so pretty. She's so bubbly. And I mean, there's not much you don't like about her. But I do agree with you, Giselle, that I really liked Mandy's one-on-one because I just thought it was cute. She went in the cold pool and she was like body heat, like she was cold. I felt like that hug was actually like, okay, I'm freezing.
Touch him.
Yeah, like I just need warmth. I'm freezing in this thing. And then they went into the hot tub. I liked their one-on-one for sure.
Yeah,
Matt gave
she
a great
listened.
tip.
I was gonna say she listened to Matt. He was very pleased with her. You did exactly what I told you to do. So it went well. For elimination, so we can get into Ben's round of ladies. Tracy put up Victoria, which we were kind of rooting for again. We did a little slow clap, I think, when we were
rooting for to go home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just to clarify.
Yeah. Amber put up Erica, and then Matt put up Kristen, and Ernesto decided to save Kristen from the start, which I didn't necessarily see coming, but we were okay with. We were like, cool, because we were just worried about one person going home.
That's it.
And then Erica and Victoria, when they went down to the garden, Erica, she kind of got into it a little bit. I think that she should have used the moment almost to say more about herself and kind of bring the focus on her. But instead, she instantly brought the focus onto Victoria because she was talking about how she's not there for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Which, if you only have a couple minutes and it's the deciding factor,
Don't talk about someone else.
Save it on yourself. Yeah.
Right. Question. What are the right reasons? How many times do you think we hear that in an episode? I know I'm here for the right reasons.
Right.
I know he's here for the right reasons. Like, what are the right
I don't
reasons?
know. See, I thought she might have.
They're
again,
ready for love.
that's
Yeah,
not the reason.
besides
the
love,
right
what are the
reason.
other reasons?
I don't know. But I think, I agree with you guys. If I had 30 seconds or whatever to save myself, I'm going to try to save myself.
Yeah.
But in this situation with Victoria, for her to throw Victoria under the bus, she only knew that Victoria was going to make herself look even worse. That made her chances better. And because as soon as she said something, Victoria went to triple negative.
Good
And you
point,
knew
yeah.
she was right out the door. So maybe she did play it right in this instance.
But she still brought herself down a notch.
True, but Erica brought herself down 3 more notches. Victoria brought herself
Yeah,
back
I
down
think
3
Victoria
more
was going to
notches.
bring herself down
Yeah,
regardless.
she knew she was going to kick in a negative mode instantly.
I totally agree with you, but at the same time, it was obvious that Victoria had it was awkward chemistry to begin with. She should have saved her breath, and because what she said was almost obvious.
Yeah, it's true.
And I would want the guy to pick me knowing that he wanted me, not just, oh, well, I like her less.
Right.
So I'll keep you.
It's true. But Erica everyone kept telling her to open up and say something, and really maybe she just has nothing to say. We'll find
Maybe
that out
there
in the
are
next
some
couple
girls that we're
weeks.
finding out really have nothing to say.
Maybe she has nothing else to say, so she's like, I gotta play whatever I can play, and this is what I want to play.
Yeah, I mean, she talks a lot about what she gave up to have that opportunity, but she doesn't talk a whole lot about what she really has to offer. So maybe we'll get some more from her next week. In the second half of the episode, we were introduced to Ben, who we all kind of swooned about a little bit.
Oh, Ben.
Kind of getting a creep vibe, actually.
Really?
A little bit. A little bit.
About
Which
what?
I mean, we'll get to that.
If you
in a
guys could have
second.
seen the rest of our faces, Ben, we were all kind of stopped for a hot second.
I know.
I'll count those abs and everything else going on.
There's
'Cause there's
there's
definitely more
something
than 6.
about him. I don't know if it's something that you would only see behind closed doors or what, but there's something about him that for some reason I'm a little creeped out by, and I can't figure out why.
Come on, he loves old people. I mean, I love old people. I love grandparents. How can you go wrong with that, Ben?
That's actually
I'm right there
really-
with you.
That's a really good
awesome.
point.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
such a good point.
Like, they were so precious.
The old people were
soul.
really cute.
So cute. I would work with them all day.
He doesn't get points for the senior citizens, Giselle?
I'm not saying that I don't like him or that he's not a good person, but there's something about him that say I don't like as much as Ernesto,
Okay,
for
fair.
example.
Fair.
That's all.
You can have that.
Maybe
We'll
it was
let
the
you have
jeans
that
and then
one.
it just kind of,
You can have Ernesto. I can have Ben. You guys
Perfect.
can have Tim.
Wait a minute.
Let's not move so fast.
By the way, Tim's song from last week, I wasn't here last week, so that's what I'm saying. Totally asked, I'm going to play that at my wedding. In a million years or whenever that happens. But the I Love You song that they all wrote together and the girls all butchered, I downloaded it. I'm obsessed with it. Okay.
Nice work, Tim.
I'm done.
Nicely, Tim.
Okay.
Let's get into the ladies
Hopefully
that
your
actually...
hubby's okay with that.
I mean, I don't even know if I found him yet. I'm just saying, a million years from now, at some point, I'm just obsessed with that song. That's okay.
Let's get into the ladies that look like they're going to win over Ben's heart from what we saw tonight, especially in the previews.
Or his peen.
Okay.
Lips. Let's just start with the lips.
You stop laughing in that booth over there. So
Yes,
Amber's-
Steven, did you have something you wanted to say back there?
No.
Because you knew I was,
laughter
come
said it all.
on.
Yeah.
Come on. There
but
are
we
ways that
saw-
you can know what a girl looks like, even if you can't see what she looks like. With some of those girls, oh, I was Miss So-and-so. Well, obviously she has to be pretty. Oh, I was a cheerleader for whatever team. Well, she obviously is skinny. Like, come on.
I mean, we've seen this
You
on other
can
shows
pick
as
with
well,
other
too.
parts of your body, even if you can't physically see the girl.
And the voice, too. The voice is when they talk, like...
If they breathe between every 3 words.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I mean, this is part of how he's getting to learn about these girls, though, because who wouldn't try to base anything off of their physical, appearance, you know?
Yeah. True.
So
Because if
obviously,
he finds his wife, he wants to maybe try to get it in a couple more times before he gets there.
He's tried already.
These are the last
as
couple
we saw.
candidates.
yeah, it only took an hour episode
Exactly.
for us to, or half of the episode. But Amber's ladies were Lindsay, who was the model, which obviously he picked her first.
Obviously.
because
Perfect
she's
example.
a model.
I'm an international model. Oh, really?
And
Taryn,
kind of nerdy. She did throw in the
A little
nerdy
bit,
part.
right?
Yeah, she did throw in the nerd.
Taryn was the jet charter sales associate. She stood out to me from the beginning. I thought
Really?
I thought that she was my favorite of those 4 that were selected. Not completely, but we saw Seneca, who was an attorney for a coffee company. which I also thought maybe he would find that attractive just on her,
Yeah.
And the
her
Benica.
resume.
I know that's
Or no, the Cinnabon.
I like that actually. I thought that was cute.
too.
Original.
And Carrie, dun, dun, dun. The ex-girlfriend from 5 years prior, she said she was 22, and she's 27 on the show now. She's a technology consultant, and she broke up with Ben via text, which we found out later in the
Right.
episode, that only said, "We need to talk." Girlfriends, do not do that.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of hers, and I'm not a fan of having exes and people in relationships. I said that last week. I'm just not a fan of that, and especially her. They were together for a really long time. It was a bad breakup. Everyone knew that. To bring her back, I'm like, handle your business. You two lived. I agree
Right.
with handle your
All of
business.
the
You
girls said
lived
this, yeah.
down the street. If you couldn't get it together, then don't come here and mess it up for the other 8 of us. I'm just not a fan of hers.
Especially because she broke up with him. You weren't into it then. What makes you into it now? Maybe because you have a whole bunch of other girls chasing after him. Maybe the jealousy part kicked in a little bit and she was just not okay with these other girls wanting her man.
Right.
I agree with the fact that she should have gotten her business straightened out beforehand. You know, from the moment she saw his video on TV to the point where they started filming, there was obviously time, and it's not like she doesn't know how to get a hold of him. I'm
Right.
sure, you know,
Exactly.
she has some sort of connections. But at the same time, I can also sort of see why she would have broken up with him and why she would maybe want to get back with him. Because I can understand, you know, if she's maybe still in school, because it sounded like she was still in school at the time when they broke up, that she doesn't understand what it's like to have a job in the real world and how much time that takes. And it seems like she took that as, oh, he doesn't want me to be a part of it, or oh, he doesn't want to give me attention. And she didn't understand like the priority that goes into having a job. And maybe, you know, you're young at that time, graduating and being in college, going straight to marriage. I don't really think that's healthy either.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's good to have that time apart at that age in your life. But I agree, timing kind of off. Why she's there, I don't know. They called her out. She didn't really have a good excuse.
I mean, I think that that's completely fair, except for the fact that it was 5 years ago. That's not just 6 months ago.
Right.
That's not his last relationship or her last relationship. There's a lot of time that's passed there. And you cannot just walk back into this, even if you do feel that way. You come into it and you let him know who I am now, what I have to offer now, how we can make this work, talk about the future. And again, all she did, like Leah that we saw with Tim last week, is she just talked about the past. And the only part of their past that really Ben remembers from what we saw is the negative part of it, is the breakup and how everything went so nasty. So you can't just walk in when there are 8 other ladies and say, oh no, he's mine. No, I know way more about him than you do. You cannot claim him like that because honestly, you may not even know who he is anymore.
Yeah. True.
You can change so much in 5 years, especially when you're at such a young age from 22 to 27.
Oh, right. Like when you graduate,
Completely.
you enter a whole new chapter of your life.
Exactly.
And I never heard her say, I'm here because I love him. I want to be with him. I see a future together. It was, I don't want
you guys.
Yeah, I don't want anyone else to have him.
I think it's jealous.
Yep, it was
Jealousy.
territorial. She wanted to bring him back in only because she didn't want to. She knows what a good catch he is, but they're probably not right for each other. But she just doesn't want anyone else to have him because he's the prize.
Yeah, that's how it sounds to me.
I agree.
Not a fan.
Tracy's ladies were Angela, who was a spokeswoman, also
Virgin.
pointed out that she's a virgin.
Virgin.
Play
Still
that
has a
V card.
Exactly. And then Katie, she was married before. She has children. She's a Pilates owner. Renee, she took her dress off, which was, I thought, an interesting play because he couldn't see it anyways.
Right.
She just did it to get the audience riled up and going. And Christina, who was eliminated. We got those 3 ladies. Matt, he focused on what Ben needs, not what Ben wants, which I thought was an interesting approach because at the end of the day, what he needs could very well be what he wants at the same time.
Right.
He picked Beth, who was a medical sales specialist. And
Quit her job.
Yes, that's right. She had to make that choice.
she made that very clear throughout the episode as well. Let me just
Like,
say that.
really, you're already giving up everything for him?
Yeah.
That's not desperate or anything.
Let's
Yeah,
make sure
talk
that it
about
works
Jason.
first.
Yeah.
Rachel was a marketing agent. She came out in a costume, and not just
Like
any old
Power
costume.
Rangers.
She kind of created a superhero for him.
To me, it looked like Power Rangers.
Pink Ranger.
Pink Ranger.
Easily with a weird belt thing.
Yeah.
Jade, who was an assistant, and Allie, who was the other twin to who was the other? What was the other twins? Mandy.
Mandy.
Who was there for Ernesto. Allie is there for Ben. She's an event coordinator.
And Allie had the lightning round. Jade had the awkward save the date.
She made the save the date.
That was scary.
To get married 1 year from the date that was on.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, that's no pressure.
That's a lot.
That's no pressure at
That's
all.
a lot. Yeah. Needless to say, Ben did not ask her to step over to the other side of the wall.
You might have already picked the song, but at least you didn't pick the date.
True.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And I just had a song at my wedding, hypothetically,
Not the
possibly a
song.
million years from now.
Right.
Yeah.
Not you have the card.
Way
the
more
date.
reasonable.
Put a deposit down on
Not
the
the
bank
dress,
room.
not the city, not the.
And their group date was a mud run.
Oh,
Love it.
You were
love
so
it.
into
Love
that.
it.
Yes.
Great idea.
I think that is, not only does that say so much about him, obviously he's athletic, he likes to be outdoors, he likes competition, but how fun.
oh,
So much
so
fun.
I'm
fun.
like, hold up a second.
Not a chance.
I mean, if I was there, I would do it. Don't get me wrong. And I consider myself to be, someone that likes. I want to do a mud run. Like I'm into it. Like I like to get dirty. I like to get physical. But like first date, come on. Like I like how physical activities, it makes you vulnerable. But you can't really get to know each other when you're chasing each other around. Like I don't know.
But don't you think that it also shows a lot of their personality? Like if they are going to be really competitive, or I don't want to get muddy, or
If they're helping other girls along.
like I
if
just
they're kind
really
of
do
hanging
think
towards
that
him.
even though you're not talking, you can show a lot of your personality with the activity.
I
Right.
agree. And I
Yeah.
think it did show things. Ben helped some ladies up, ropes, and some of the ladies were actually encouraging each other, which is a positive thing in this situation. So I think it showed a lot without having to have that big conversation. I loved it.
And I loved how they were all covered in mud
Yeah.
when they were eating. Love that.
I have to say it was pretty nice too. I think Ben was the only one out of the three guys to do this. He actually pulled every girl aside at the group date, which we didn't see that happen. The other two guys, they called the matchmakers and kind of turned to them for advice, and then they got to pick the one-on-ones.
But do you think that he might have done that so that he made sure he got the one-on-one with
Crazy girl.
Carrie?
I think it was a good move just because he didn't know what the matchmakers were going to decide, and he wanted to be able to make his own decisions just in case. I mean, he only got to spend one-on-one dates with 3 of them.
Right.
So this is him kind of trying to take advantage of the time that he was given, which I liked personally.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I was just wondering if you guys thought it was because of that, maybe.
Well, I think it was pretty awkward even when they were having lunch after.
Yeah.
He was like, he even said, it's pretty awkward to sit here and talk to everyone with your ex right here looking at you.
Well, and they had
the
nothing to
entire
do
time.
but sit and look at their empty plates. Because once the mud run was over, it was like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, the one-on-one date said that Tracy, she picked Katie, Matt picked Rachel, who got a kiss on the one-on-one date. Let's just point
She
that
sure
out.
did.
Because they had nothing to talk about.
And Amber picked Taryn, who also got a kiss, but she asked for it in a way. It was her birthday, and she said, if you want to give me a kiss,
I'll let you.
I'll let you. I'm here. I'm
went
down
for
for
it,
it.
too.
Okay.
And he did. So he was the first person to
Get it in.
not only kiss, but kiss 2 different
His tongue.
ladies.
Yes.
Yeah, get it in with
On
his
the
tongue.
episode.
Yeah, with his tongue.
And then we went into elimination. Tracy, she selected Angela. Matt selected Rachel, and Amber selected Carrie. Just the way that Matt did with Leah last week, put her up to the test. Let's let Ben decide. If he wants you here, he'll keep you. If not, let's get it out of the way.
Good decision.
And his first save was Angela, and then Rachel and Carrie went down to the garden. And Carrie actually pulled him aside, and
We need to
she's
talk.
like, let's talk before you make any decisions.
Yeah.
And I have to say, she didn't have anything good to talk about.
Nothing. She basically said, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Follow your feelings. If I'm here, I'm here. If I'm not, I'm not. Again, she had that moment completely there by themselves. She could have just laid it all on the line. I love you, but none of that. It was
But
follow your
remember her
heart.
advice, though. Her advice that she was given was, let him feel like he's free.
And she did say, if you find love here, I will be happy for you. Whether that was genuine or not, I don't know. But she did say that. But also, I felt that Ben kept bringing up the past. Like, what happened in the past is not, just gone. It's not eliminated. So I feel like maybe something actually did happen in the past that puts him, like, you know, in an awkward state because I think something did happen.
It sounds like it was. They even said it was an explosive breakup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's over it. I don't think he's forgiven her for whatever it was that went down. He's not ready to play nice with her yet because he doesn't feel like she deserves it. And when she was standing there kind of explaining everything, she stood there in a very cold, had her arms crossed, almost in like a either pick me or I'm leaving as an ultimatum, when really he has no reason to pick her.
Right.
Like, he has nothing to go back on but negative experiences. Like, you're not the golden ticket, sweetheart.
Right.
He's really not winning anything by picking you.
Right.
You know, so don't try to make it like you're this big prize for him.
I was surprised he picked the virgin to stay.
He had to
I don't even
say
know what her name
her.
is. But he
Angela.
saved her.
He saved
Yeah,
her.
I don't like her.
Well, I think they were.
Just because she's a virgin.
Not because she's a virgin.
What's the other
Relax.
reason?
Just because she just seems so closed off, and she
because she was wearing this.
and she was also wearing clear heels.
Clear heels.
Clear
I'm not
shoes.
purely physical here, but no, she just seems so closed off. And to be totally honest with you, she seems like someone who's not necessarily a virgin because she chooses to be. She's a virgin because she's insecure, or she won't open up, or she doesn't know how to be romantic with someone. Like, she just doesn't seem like a very
warm person.
Yeah,
but when they had their one-on-one, they were talking about being competitive, and I think she got him by saying,
I
at
thought she was
school
so
you-
manly.
At school, you want some basketball. Some guys
didn't
really
like it.
like that, though. Some
She
guys
was like, I'm a
that.
cheerleader. Like,
But
I thought
think
it was so manly, like just so asexual. Like, she even stood out, but she even said it like this. Like, she was to the side.
Some
like,
guys like that.
She was holding. They must have been playing like that horseshoe toss.
yeah.
She was like, yeah, I can play basketball. Yeah.
I mean, she played it to the right guy, though. He's super athletic.
Athletic.
Yeah, he likes to get physical and go out and do things. So it's not like she was just playing this to, you know, someone that's super into theater and musicals and was like, cool, I don't want to go play basketball with you. You
and
know?
some guys like the V card thing. Some guys don't, or like run from it. Other guys are intrigued.
Speaking of something that most guys would run from, I did love his connection with Katie, the mother of two.
Yes, love
and
that.
how he was saying that her kids would be a blessing, and how he connected it to his situation where he didn't really have a dad in his life, and how it was him and his sister. And I that was probably one of my favorite
that was
moments.
great.
That was super
Yeah,
sweet.
that was great. I like that.
Yeah.
And let's move on to actually news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
We do have some news, and it's kind of a spoiler, but not really. We have Ben Patton himself joining us in studio next week, so make sure that you guys tune in. We have a lot of questions.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to watch next week.
I love how I just said that Ben, for whatever reason, rubs me the wrong way. He's going to be here. So hopefully I'll be able to redeem myself and take
he'll
the
clear-
statement back, and he'll clear everything out.
He'll clear things up for you. We have a lot of questions, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of inside scoop, some spoilers from him. So
Yeah.
make sure to
And
stay
maybe a
tuned.
little touch of the abs.
Oh,
Yeah.
And maybe we'll talk about that engagement ring that we see him getting out.
And Ben, if you want to kiss me,
yeah, we're
it's
ready.
okay.
We'll be ready.
We're ready.
For love.
Oh, I love it.
I'm
That's
ready for
awesome.
love.
So make sure you guys tune in next week. In
Yeah.
the meantime, don't forget to check out iTunes. Comment, rate us, let us know how you think we're doing. Let us know what you think that we could be doing differently. We love to hear your feedback. In the meantime, until next week, let everyone know how they can get in touch with you one more time.
Wait, are we doing predictions or no?
And now,
I mean, we
your
saw-
We can do it at the
AfterBuzz
same time.
TV
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can do it at the same time.
My prediction is that I want I don't even remember her name because I just don't even like her. The clear heels girl, the virgin. I want her to go home.
Angela. Not a fan of Angela
I don't
over
know.
here.
I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of first cases next week. And I don't know. I think it's still a little too early to make predictions for me, from my standpoint. But yes, thank you so much for watching. You can find me at Giselle Ugarte on most social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, my website, all that goodness. Yeah.
Jess, what about you?
And I just
trying to keep
think
it as
that
PG as
Carrie, the ex, needs to go. I think her chance is over. She's not in it for the right reasons. Jealousy is taking over her. And anyways, you can find me at Sika Carroll, SICA-CARROLL. And I love the comments.
I think Carrie needs to get the boot.
Yep.
I think Olivia for Ernesto needs to get the boot. She's cray-cray. Get the crazy ones out of there.
Yeah, get the crazy one out
I
of
am Tara Johnson, so happy to be with you, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TJ Path to Passion. I do know how to tweet when I'm not here at AfterBuzz.
Yeah, Jess and Tara, I completely agree with the both of you. I think that Carrie, she's got to go. I think that Ben's going to realize that she's not bringing anything else to the table, and he can see the potential in so many other of the great ladies that he has there. So we'll see how that goes, and I agree, Olivia. Scat.
Oh, and I think Matt and Mandy should get married.
In the meantime,
just love
if you
that.
guys, you can follow me on Twitter at Samantha_Laich, Laich, and you can follow all of us here at AfterBuzz TV on Twitter as well. See you next time.
Bye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.